Welcome to the Amy Gregory Show, the show where real estate gets a reality check and success doesn't require burnout. I'm Amy, your straight shooting, pep talk in your pocket host who took the real estate world by storm with zero cold calls, no door knocking, and a firm no thanks to working 50-hour weeks. 8 years ago, I jumped into real estate with both feet, 3 kids, and a baby on the way. In my rookie year, I broke every rule in the book, earning 6 figures working just 10 hours a week. The industry was shocked. I wasn't. Now, I lead a powerhouse team of over 500 female solo agents nationwide, host retreats, create online courses, and sit proudly in the top 10 of my brokerage with over 85,000 agents. My mission? To help women like you scale your business, trust your intuition, and redefine what success looks like on your terms. So if you're ready to play big, ditch the hustle culture, and build a business that fits your life, not the other way around, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Amy Gregory Show. You guys are in for a treat today because I have got my no nonsense. I think people think I'm no nonsense, tell it like it is, and then until you meet Kim Buckner, and then you realize like Amy is just like a weakling, you know?
No, you're not. You're a spitfire. You're great.
So, okay, Kim Buckner, give them an introduction to you because you were at Keller Williams. You were a huge, what did you do at Keller Williams?
I was not huge.
She really had no business talking to me.
Stop.
She was way out of my league.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
I was in a leadership role at Keller Williams. So I was what you call a team leader, CEO. So I ran the market center, right?
For years.
The staff, yeah, for years in 3 states.
Traveling all the time.
Lived in a hotel and on an airplane and yeah.
But you really learned the ropes of real estate, a real estate business.
Oh.
I mean, there's few who have seen the things that you have seen inside of real estate.
Agreed.
In all candor.
No, agreed.
Like,
absolutely
I'm a
agreed.
little baby comparatively.
No, well, because, you get thrown into this, the market centers are essentially their offices, right? It's their brick and mortar offices. And so you get thrown into this, hey, you're in charge of profitability. You're in charge of whether these people keep jobs. Yeah. You're in charge of agent production. So not only was I in charge of running the office, and you literally are the CEO of that entity, you're also over the top 20%. You're producers, right? Your top 20% producers. So not only was I on the, whatever the corporate side of it, the office side of it, but I also sat down with the biggest producers day to day and helped them run their businesses. It was a lot. I lost a few years off my life.
Real estate can do that to you.
Woo. Yeah.
Okay, but you also, in that capacity, you learn so much.
Oh, I mean, baptism by fire, sister. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's get into it a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about how we met because it's kind of a fascinating story because Kim Buckner was a big deal. Is a big deal. And I remember the first time we talked on the phone. So Kim's part of my group Powerhouse at EXP.
Yes.
And I remember the first time I talked to you on the phone, I kind of wanted to wet my pants. I did.
Did I say something mean?
What? No, because I just felt like Kim was out of my league. No, but you know how like when you're in transactions, when you go to that first really big like luxury listing and you're like,
oh yeah,
there's a part of you that just wants to wet your pants. I don't know how else to say it. Like you're just a little bit nervous. You feel like I am out over my skis.
What am I doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Am I capable of doing this? And that's how I felt talking to Kim Buckner. Do you want to know that the first time we talked, it was the Suns were playing the Milwaukee Bucks in the finals, and I missed one of the games, which if you know me in real life,
that was a huge deal.
That was a big deal. Little 12-year-old Amy was at the Phoenix Suns parades, like when they were in the finals.
I remember I was sitting in my office, and I remember I was in my home office, and I remember you had stepped out, and because my husband had the game playing, and I felt kind of bad. I was like, this being watched.
She didn't feel that bad because she made me do that.
It was great. It was a great conversation.
Okay, but we have a mutual friend.
Yes.
Our mutual friend is Amy Peterson, which is another interesting story because you and Amy Peterson go way back.
Yes. So Amy and I have been friends since our kids were little, so well over 20 years. And Amy had decided to get her license. She'd kind of toyed with it for a while, and we had really been out of contact for years and years, but she knew about my role at Keller Williams. Yeah. And there was a recruiter in her area. So I was in Kentucky. She was in Arizona. And there was a recruiter with KW in her area that had reached out to her. So she had called me and had said, hey, I'm talking to these folks from KW. I'm talking to this lady from EXP. What are your thoughts, right? And I mean, because I didn't know who either people, I didn't know either of the parties, right? And she said, what are your thoughts? And I mean, you know, I was at the time diehard KW, and I just said, all I can tell you is whichever one promises you the most, go with the other one.
Yeah, which is interesting advice. Why is that the advice?
Oh, hands down all the time. If people have to make big promises, something's lacking. If you can't feel what you need, right? Like if you can't feel what they have to offer, if you can't feel the reciprocity in the air when you're with them, just walk away. If they have to promise you the moon, right? It's no different than like, you know, a relationship or a date.
Well, and you know that I was probably like the opposite where I was like, well, because Amy and I just kind of, we had some common friends. Like we live about 30 minutes from each other. So we had some common friends. Yeah. But Amy and I hadn't ever really met. So I remember being like, why is she calling me? But I think this is a thing for women in business is it's actually kind of hard to find women to like reach out to and ask. And I kind of remember telling Amy, well, like, this is kind of how I built my business. And I'm like, you totally can do it because I think all three of us kind of mirror each other. Like we kind of are like a take no prisoners, get things done, figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And, you know, point me in the right direction and I'll figure it out. Right. So I recognize that in Amy, but I was kind of like, I mean, yeah, I'll tell you how I'm doing things and whatever, but like, you have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's interesting that you and I are the ones that she reached out to because you would think theoretically she should have way more women to reach out to, but it's pretty sparse.
It is, and it also tells you the power of influence, Amy. Right? Like she wasn't like directly attached to you or directly connected to you, and she and I had been out of contact for years. However, the influence that we both had in our respective roles was pretty well known. So I think that speaks volumes. Again, you didn't have to tell her, she knew it. Which goes back to my point of when they're over-promising, there's a reason.
Well, I always tell my kids, if someone has to tell you they're cool, like they're not actually cool.
Same. My son was a baseball player, and I was always like, if you have to tell people you're good, you're really not good. It's true.
Do you think our kids love being raised by parents? Like
you know what?
Like
my kids are both loving the crap out of it right now.
That's
yes,
right.
they are.
You know what I mean? There's no nonsense.
They have both built extremely successful businesses, and I know when they hit their knees at night, part of it is like, dang, I cannot believe I got stuck with her. And the other part is, thank God I got stuck with her. It served them both pretty well.
I think that is actually so true.
Yes,
it's like a healthy dose of fear.
Yes.
But also they know if they want to do something, like you are all in.
Absolutely.
All in.
Listen, if they said, I want to raise a chicken farm, Mom, I would be like, let's go. Tell me what you want to do.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's
go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to this idea of like women in business, women helping women, because Amy is kind of the connector of us. Yeah. But we have actually had this like trifecta now for a couple of years, which has been incredibly helpful in all of our businesses.
Absolutely.
We've all grown a lot.
Absolutely.
Over the last couple of years.
It's crazy. It's crazy, Amy. Do you ever sit back sometimes and just be like, damn, I cannot believe what has happened. You have to. I feel that way for you. Like, I'm just like, way to go, girl, you know?
Kim's actually the person I call when I'm ready to like burn it all down.
Oh,
because there are days where you want to just burn it all down, and I think people don't talk about that nearly enough. It's like on Instagram, it's like always this like highlight reel, and I'm like, oh no, if you're not crying in the closet once a month, you're not doing it right.
I'm telling you, 4 years ago, burn it all. To ashes. I mean, burnt it down. And right now, going through a whole other change, right? Where you're doing that. You're in the bathroom crying. And what am I doing? What am I thinking? And that's when you know, baby. You're right there.
You're right there.
You are right there.
Because it's kind of a lonely space.
Oh, it's an extremely lonely. It's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah. It's an extremely lonely space. And I'll tell you, even when I was building my real estate business, like prior to any leadership role, there's something about like once you start to grow a business to the point where you're making decent money, right? And then you're hiring people. And so I'm running these businesses, and then you know how it when you have the mindset we have, it all branches off into something else because God knows you can't just do one thing. So then you're building all these multiple things out. And then, you know, I'm driving carpool and I'm running to the dance recitals and I'm, you know, because I refused and still to this day, my children will not sacrifice for that. Yeah. Right? Like I am not going to be the person that's like, oh, I haven't seen my kids in 3 weeks, but I guess they're okay. That's not happening.
No, absolutely
Godspeed. I don't know which camera I'm looking at, but hey, if that works for you, you go for it. However, when I decided to be a mom, I decided to be a mom.
Agreed.
Number one, the end. God gave me those kids. He entrusted me with those kids.
And frankly, driving the carpool is the easy part.
And the biggest blessing.
It's the biggest blessing, but I don't think people realize like the mental and emotional processing that goes into play. I've got 3 teenagers right now, and I'm
Amy,
like,
I can't. I don't know how you're not on like Zoloft or something, but seriously,
maybe I am. Right?
Maybe whatever. Do what you got to do. But it is very lonely because you know at the ballpark, you know. I'm not a drinker, so all the moms are there with their solo cups or their wine, right? And I'm over here on my phone trying to negotiate a deal behind the dugout between my kids at bats, right? Like nobody knows what you're going through. And I shouldn't say nobody, that's probably, you know, extreme, but very few people understand what you're going through. I mean, to this day, if you sat my husband in this chair and said, tell me what your wife does, he would be like,
Yeah. And they kind of do know. They know the most because they see that they used to break down the bow.
Like knowing all the things and who all works for you and who all does what. He's just like, I don't know. I mean, she just does it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know. So it's lonely. People don't understand what you're doing. And then there's also this judgy space with women of, oh, you're working. Or, oh, you're, you know, whatever. Or that's your priority. Or, oh, you're on a, like if I can't, we've had to travel a lot the last month. And if I could tell you, if I had $1 for every person, it's like, oh, you're going again?
Yeah.
I am. And you know what? Because of that, my kids will have a lot fewer things to worry about when they're adults than I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Like I remember having this idea to go back to real estate, and I sat on it for like 2 years because I was like, no.
Because you had your license before you had your babies, right?
Yeah, I had my license. Like I had my license. Yeah. So my oldest is 18.
Okay.
I was licensed before he was born because I worked for a home builder.
That's right.
And then had babies. I basically took 10 years having babies.
Sure.
And I was always kind of building businesses on the side and stuff because I don't know, some people like to run, some people like to bake. I have always tinkered on businesses.
Same.
I just always have.
Yep.
And so anyways, I kept having this thought. I put it off for 2 years because I was like, it freaked me the heck out. Because I was like, oh, no. Like, I am a mom. And I mean, I literally would cry to my husband, like, this idea will not leave me. I don't want to do this. I want to be barefoot in the kitchen,
right?
And you go to work.
Well, because we get stuck in the box of identity, right? Like I have to stay. If this is my identity, it has to be right here. It's not like because you hear so many times, right? You can't have it all. You can't do it all. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't come with a mental sacrifice or some sanity gets lost, but you can.
But what else am I doing?
You can do, yeah. And with your kids, would you be able to be like the best version of yourself, or would you even be a great mom if you tried to deny that part of who you were?
Well, and that was the thing that was interesting. I had the thought come to mind because I was just like, I do not want to do this to my kids. That was the thought, and the thought that I had was, you know, you only work if you have to, and good moms don't work. And no one ever said that to me.
Right.
And frankly, generationally, Kim,
just some ideal.
But like generationally, it did make sense. Like for my mom to put my dad through law school and that did make sense for her to go to work. Like social media didn't exist. The internet didn't exist. This ability to like be at home and run a business to the level that we run businesses, that didn't exist. Like my mom really did raise me for a future she could not predict.
Yeah.
And so that's normal. And also it is not lost on me that I am 100% raising my kids for a future I cannot predict.
Exactly.
So y'all going to need therapy. Everyone needs a little bit of therapy to rewire your brain.
Go ahead and
as
sign
an
them
adult.
all up. Yep,
Sign them up. We can afford it though. So there's that. High five to us.
Thank God.
This episode is sponsored by Stan Store, the simplest way to turn your social media followers into clients. Want to build your database straight from Instagram without the tech headaches? I've got you. Click the link in the show notes to download my website template for realtors, designed to help you capture leads and grow your business with ease. Because your social media should be more than just likes. It should be your lead generating machine. But as my kids have gotten older, I've realized, my business is valuable, right? Like it produces a great revenue and a great lifestyle for us, but I'm the biggest asset.
100%.
I'm the biggest asset because of like who I am. Like my 18-year-old son has this business idea that he's like toying with, and he's like, oh my gosh, Mom, like I can't sleep at night. And he's sending me stuff like all day long. And I'm like, how the heck did you do phenomenal. That? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he thinks this is possible because he saw me do this with a baby on my hip. And he said to me last night, literally this is last night, he goes, I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Like I can't stop thinking about it. He's like, is this how it is for you? Like when you have an idea and you know it's good, you can't sleep
all the time.
And I was just like, yeah.
24/7.
Yeah. Right? And it's like that cycle. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, had I not done this, I never would have known this.
And Amy, good for you for recognizing, because I'm a little older than Amy, but good for you for recognizing that you are the asset, right? It took me a long time because I was so tied to other things, right? My success, I felt like, was tied to other things. So when I got out of that and stepped away, I was out of that role for about a year. And I had a friend that got really freaking sick, and it sucks, right? And she is no longer with us, and it stinks. Yeah. And it kicked me in my butt, right? And I was like, I've got to go back. The last time you and I sat down in front of microphones, I was like 60 pounds heavier. Yeah. And I've got to go back and look and see, because that was the wake-up call for me. That was like, you are the asset. You are the thing they can't live with. It. Your kids are smart. They are brilliant. They can make their own money. Yeah. They can. You are the thing, right? So you got to take care of yourself. You've got to make yourself a priority. Start going to doctors and getting checkups and doing all the things.
Doing the things, like taking care of yourself.
Yeah, because you're going 90 miles an hour and you don't think about it.
100%.
Yeah.
Like you get to the point where your nervous system is like
shot.
A total wreck.
Totally shot. Yeah.
A total wreck, right? Because agents, a lot of times, and I think a lot of agents don't realize that is the burnout.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because all of a sudden, and this happened to me 2 weeks ago, I'm going about my day and I got teenagers texting me, and I've got a meeting I have to run with like over 200 agents on it, and 5 minutes before I get a text from a client like, okay, this deal's just falling apart. And it's $1.6 million worth of transactions, so that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than some people make in a year. That's a real thing, Amy. I'm from Kentucky, so but it's a little different word, but seriously, it is.
No, but that's the thing, and all of a sudden,
can't be lost on you.
And so that text message comes in, and then 5 minutes later, you're in front of a camera,
smiling.
Hi, welcome to Powerhouse. We're so glad you're here, right? And it's this thing where it's like this fight or flight, and you're moving through all these emotions. And I think this is something females especially probably struggle with more than our male counterparts, because I think we do more of the emotional processing at home.
We're talking about that Thursday too. We are
Kim's
talking about
speaking at Rise Retreat.
Seriously, it's all about boundaries, right? And understanding reciprocity and ditching the people that don't get it. I mean, when you talk about your nervous system being fried, I feel like I am just now. I mean, and we're almost 5 years into this journey of leaving that role. Yeah. I am just now feeling a healing of all of that. And I will never forget my coach. One of the things that, this was like right after all this was going on, and she says to me, tell me why you think you attach your value to doing. And I was like, oh, shiz. Yeah. And I was like, well, I mean, I don't. And she goes, okay, let me ask you this. She goes, let me ask you this. Do you make checklists throughout your day? I was like, well, of course. Who doesn't live by a checklist, right?
How would you not have a
checklist?
Goes,
no. My question to you is if you're doing something that's not on your checklist, do you write it down and check it off? And I was like, maybe.
I totally do that.
I do it. And she was like, you attach your value to doing, and you got to stop. So my assignment, and this was at a time in my life where I did not watch TV, I did not watch Netflix, nothing. Yeah. Like TV was that was not even a thing, right? And she's like, I need you to just, do you have a chair, is there a recliner, is there a place in your house where you can sit down and just watch TV and veg out? And I was like, well, yeah, but I mean, and you can ask my kids, growing up, like if we sat down and had family night, I could not sit through a movie. I would get up 20 times during a movie. And it's just reconditioning yourself to just sit, to put my phone down and to just sit. And I'm telling you, when I say it took me a year, it took a year. You could sit here and teach me something about business, Amy.
And implement it
4 minutes later, I got it. Let's go, right? But you teach me how to sit still and not overthink and not have to do something.
I will say one of the things I did early on, because let's see, I'm like 8 years into the business. So like I was pregnant with my fourth baby. He's 8 now, almost 8. And so I had little kids. I had 3 kids in elementary school, which is like crazy. Yeah. I'm not sure how I did that.
No.
But I did. And one of the things I did do was they would get home about 2:15 every day is when they would kind of walk through the door, and I would put my phone on Do Not Disturb for 2 hours. And now, obviously, if you had a transaction that you knew was going to need, like, popping up, I would go check my phone and make sure that everything was fine. But it is like this ding of the phone. Like, you feel like you're in a social experiment, like bing, 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 all the time. And I do think that was my saving grace, is like learning how to do that early on.
I noticed that you don't wear an Apple Watch either.
No, I don't.
I can't.
No.
I can't. Even the vibrate, everybody's like, you can turn it off. And I'm like, it's just the idea. It's already bad enough that it's something that's in my hand that I can sit down. But if it's attached to my body, I can't condition myself to not. I don't have that kind of self-control. So I just can't.
I don't know how people do have that
I can't wear the
self-control.
watch. Yeah, just can't do it.
No, I've never worn an Apple Watch. I plug my phone in downstairs at night.
I tried, but I gave it to my daughter. So I couldn't do it.
You tried the Apple Watch?
I tried for like a week. Yes.
Okay, what are you like most excited for coming into like the next year?
Oh my gosh.
Because you have like restructured your whole business.
Yes.
You are like coaching agents. Kim is the best. Like, tell it like it is, coach. Like 100%.
Yeah, if you do not have a
if
thick
I get
skin,
bad,
I'm not your
if
girl.
I get like bad feedback from someone and it hurts my feelings, I call Kim.
And listen, if it's valid, and we can talk through that. But if sometimes people are just jealous and mean and nasty and trite and just whatever, and I'm happy to call them for you if you ever need that conversation to be had. I'm more than happy.
It doesn't happen very often.
I actually have had to do it a couple times on our calls.
Don't you think people like I think women in real estate are held to a different standard than our male counterparts.
1,000%. 1,000%. And so it's twofold, right? So when you are successful in this business, and no matter what role it is, right? It doesn't matter if it's the real estate portion or digital docs or coaching or whatever it is. If you have a certain level of success, you're taking it from the men and you're taking it from the women, right? I'm not a man hater. Do not come in. You can come at me. I don't care. But I'm just saying, it's all about like, how did she do that? How did she do that? Well, would you like to know? Number one, I am not an entitled little snot. Number one, right? Yeah. I don't think anybody owes me anything.
No one owes me anything.
I'm willing to work, clean toilets, whatever. I mean, whatever, that might be harsh. But you know what I'm saying? Like I'm willing to put in the work to do what it takes, right? I'm willing to figure it out. Does it frustrate me when it doesn't come easily or doesn't come quickly? Yes, I want to rip my hair out of my head. Yeah. And I will persevere until it happens. I'm not going to give up and cry and whine and, and then be upset that someone else has more success than I do. Yeah. Because my success is on me.
Yes.
1,000%. I will have people talk about my kids to this day. And I'm like, their success has nothing to do with me.
Nothing.
Did they have a different acumen? Did they have a different business acumen or a different skill set or a different mindset than most people? 1,000% more than most adults. Yeah. Right? So, yeah, they were
like
raised with that.
This emotional intelligence.
Yes.
I feel like my kids have a very high emotional intelligence.
Sorry.
But one of the things that was a game changer in my business, when I accepted full responsibility for my business, whether it was my fault or not my fault, it was always my fault.
100%.
Whether it was going, and here's the flip on it though, is a lot of times we'll be like, oh, we say that in the sense of like, well, even if it's not going right, it's your fault. Yes, take accountability for it. Solve problems that you didn't create. Fix it.
Yes,
just fix the problem.
I'm sorry,
even if it wasn't your fault.
Right,
like, you write that check.
Right,
like,
you're
all
the one
day
responsible.
Long.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing: is if it is working, that's also your fault. You did something right, and you should
and celebrate
allow
it.
yourself to be like, heck yeah, I did that.
I have this thing in coaching where I'm like, you know what? Spike the football. You've got to take a minute. Even with Morgan.
Do the touchdown dance.
Yeah, like when my kids are doing something great, I'm like, you got to spike the ball, celebrate, get back to work.
Yeah.
You don't get to dance for days.
Yeah.
Right? That dance lasts how long? 15, 20 seconds, right? Yeah. Pay your fine and move on, right?
Yeah.
Get back to work.
100%.
But you have to celebrate the wins. And what stinks and makes me furious, and you're going to get me going, is that women are afraid to celebrate the wins because then you're braggy or you're pretentious or, you're rubbing it in everybody's face. It's not my fault if you're a loser. It is not my fault, right? Like, it's not my fault if you didn't want to put in the work or you didn't want to take the chance or you didn't want to do the thing. Yeah. And shame on you for not cheering for me.
Yeah.
So you better watch when you're out here doing the things you're doing and you watch not for the people who are cheering, you watch for the ones who aren't.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very telling. Disappointing.
Keep your friends close and your enemies close.
1,000%. Now I just keep no one close. Like if I didn't birth you or you're not somehow blood related to me.
This idea of not owing anyone anything is a thing, because I think the other thing that happens a lot with women, and I see this, is you feel like, oh, well, I think sometimes people think like, oh, this happened on accident. And none of this happened on accident.
Or luck.
It was a lot of 5 a.m. wake up calls and a lot of crying in the closet and a lot of like trying again. Frankly, it was just a lot of trying again.
Yeah.
Right. And you have a son that plays baseball. I always say like baseball is legit a sport of failure.
100%.
Like their batting averages, like if you have a 300 batting average, like
you're paid, you're getting a pro.
Yeah.
You're
phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Like that batting, like when you think about that in a
30%
business,
in life is you're a failure.
You're like, well, that's not that great. You know what I mean? But I mean, so 75% of the time, it's not working out.
But also that has to do with your environment and the field you're playing on. Yeah. And that's what everybody forgets. We're all playing on different fields.
Yeah.
And people want to compare themselves to Amy Gregory. Honey, you ain't on my field. You are not. You are not on her field. So I know, and there's nothing wrong with saying that, right? Like that is what kills me. Yeah. It's just like with my kid, even when he was little, right? I would say, listen, he would do something great, right? And everybody'd be freaking out. And I felt like my job, the coach in me could not let it go, right? My job, my conversation to have with him on the way to the car was, that was great. And I'm so proud of you. And there is always, always somebody better than you.
Yeah.
Do not forget that. Don't get over your skis. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget there is always somebody out there better than you. Don't lose your edge. Right.
Like you have to stay in the game.
I've told the story like a bajillion times over Michael Jordan's trainer. And his trainer would say to him, you know, after every game, win or lose, all right, 5, 6, or 7. What time are we showing up tomorrow?
What time are we showing up
5,
tomorrow?
6, or 7. He was like, he was the only one on that team that consistently, win or lose, great game, crappy game, whatever, he was there the very next day. And he was like, if we were on top and he was doing great, it's probably a 5. If it was a crappy game, we're going to meet at 7. But he was there every day, working harder and longer than anybody else.
Well,
and you know how much crap he took? Yeah, right? I'm like, if you don't want to put in the work, that's fine. That's not my problem.
It's not my problem. But don't, like, if you don't want to put in the work, that's totally fine. But then don't act like my success or your success is like lucky on accident.
Right.
Or my favorite one is like, oh, you're cute. And you're like,
and that's so hard for you.
Someone asked me,
because you are
Kim,
cute, Amy. It's so hard.
Someone asked me, they're like, oh, well, like, I feel like, you know, if you're a female, like in real estate, like you kind of have to be like flirty to get the deals done. And I
don't even flirt with my own husband. I'm certainly not flirting with somebody else. What?
I literally was like,
you know what you should have said?
Time out. I'm like, if someone hires me because they think like I am offended and I will fire myself. Like I was like, hard stop.
You should have told them,
like
right.
It's my brain. Like I'm actually really smart. I know it's gonna surprise people, but the brain is
said, you're right. That's exactly what you need to do. You need to flirt as much as possible. That's my business model. Flirt away. Okay, I got to go. I got an appointment if you want. What?
Right?
And I'm telling you, people will have those. I know you've done it. It's killed me, so I know it's killed you. I mean, Amy, you got a minute? Hey, Amy, can I pick your brain? Hey, Amy, would you mind? No. You know what? No. When you earn that.
I've gotten good at saying no.
Yeah, when you earn that, that's literally another thing we're talking about. It's my favorite word, and it's the thing you better master. Once you get to a certain level, because when you say yes to something, you better know exactly what you're saying no to.
100%.
And when I say yes to things, I'm saying no to me working on something that can move me further along, or I'm saying no to my family, or I'm saying no to my personal time, right? Yeah. Oh, there's just so much.
I feel like this is going to be the episode that people come back to when they need like a kick in the pants and a little pep talk of like, you got this, no excuses.
Seriously.
Take care of yourself.
Celebrate yourself.
It's just doing the simple things every single day. That is the biggest thing. I'm like, people say, well, how do I do it? And I'm like, well, pick the 5 things that you think will build your business. Do those things every single day for an extended period of time and you win.
Get comfortable with the monotony of success.
Oh, I love that.
Get comfortable with the monotony of success. It's the same crap over and over and over and over.
Every single day. Okay, on that note, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Amy Gregory Show. Kim Buckner, it's a pleasure. As always,
love it.
We'll put all of her contact details below. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit follow, do all the things. And if you want to hang out with us inside of Powerhouse, you can click the link below to schedule a call. We'll see you next time.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to The Amy Gregory Show. If today's episode gave you that "I needed this" feeling, go ahead and hit subscribe so you never miss a pep talk when you need it most. And hey, if you're ready to scale your business without the burnout, I've got you. Head over to @AmyGregory on Instagram to connect, grab free resources, or join my community of powerhouse women who are redefining real estate success. Until next time, trust your gut, take up space, and remember, you're just one bold move away from your next breakthrough.